Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and an unusual looking puzzle for you today called Po Boy. And this is by Sniglett, for whom it's a debut on the channel, and cornishjohn, for whom it's a debut with me solving. I think Mark has done a cornishjohn puzzle, but this is my first time solving cornishjohn, my first time solving Sniglett, and this puzzle's been recommended to us by Tyrgannus, no less. Now, Tyrgannus is a very good judge of a puzzle and wrote to suggest that this is one of the best hybrid Sudokus that he's ever seen. And I thought this might be a nice day to do it, because on Saturdays what we've been trying to do on occasion recently is to do sort of non-Sudoku puzzles. And this one, although it is a Sudoku, it has a lot of logic puzzle elements to it, including coral, which I think, if I have done it on the channel before, it's maybe only once or twice. Yeah, but this has got a fascinating, it's quite a long rule set, but it's fascinating, and apparently it is absolutely brilliant. So this is what I plan to have a go at in today's video. And Po Boy is a sandwich, isn't it? I think I've had a Po Boy sandwich when I went to America. I think it's a sandwich. I can't quite remember, and I'm not sure what's in it. But knowing American sandwiches is probably pretty good. So anyway, that I think is what the title. Well, what's the title got to do with the puzzle? Oh, I see. There are some sandwich clues. Okay. These clues outside the grid, I think that they have a sandwich component to them. So anyway, that must be what's going on there. Anyway, it's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time. Now I've got quite a few things to talk about today. I think Mark and I are planning on streaming, by the way. Again, we're going to have another look at Nurikabi World, because we both enjoyed that last week. So I'm not sure which day that will be, but we will let you know soon. I have got the winner of the month's competition, actually. Mark called me earlier. Mark is responsible for drawing the winner, because he can make Excel pick a random number. I don't know how he does that. It's magic. But basically, we put all of the winners into some Excel spreadsheet, and then Mark's able to select a random person from the list. So this, of course, was Blob's Sudoku Hunt, which was our monthly competition on Patreon. Incredible numbers of you managed to solve all of the puzzles. So it's this person who's won has really not only achieved the distinction of having solved a lot of great Sudoku puzzles, but also been picked out of the Excel hat. And the prize, which might be considered a booby prize, I hope not, is going to be the chance to make a Sudoku video that with me that will appear on the channel. And we've had Maddie and we've had Cecilia so far, and I think that they have both enjoyed it, and I know you guys have watched the video, or some of you have watched the video, and you seem to have enjoyed it as well. So I think it's something we should continue if we can. So drum roll please. The winner of the monthly competition is Erin Tola. I hope I'm saying both of those names correctly. So Erin, I will drop you an email and find out whether you're interested in making a video. And yeah, you can let us know in due course. If you're not interested, that is absolutely fine. There is absolutely no obligation, and you will get gaming keys instead. Now let's move on to other subjects, of which there are a couple that I do want to mention. I've got birthdays, but I'm going to start off with wishing the very, very best to Nathaniel and Caitlin, because today is their wedding day. And I mean, this is it's fabulous, really. It really is fabulous. Apparently they've invited us to the wedding, which is extremely kind. But Nathaniel has set, let me show you, I've got it here. Oh, it's not in the right place. I hope I've got to, yes, that's fine, isn't it? Nathaniel has set a Sudoku for the cocktail hour during the wedding, and it's called Sip and Solve, which is brilliant. And they're going to be, I suppose they will be by now, Mr. and Mrs. Is it Lutz? And there's a nice pun in there, Lutz of Love, with Lutz of Love being made up of thermometers. It's brilliant. And look, actually, what I should do is I might put a link to this puzzle. I think I've got a link. I'll put a link to this puzzle. I think it's meant to be fairly straightforward, sort of approachable standard. So I will put a link to it under the video in case you want to have a go. But I think Nathaniel and Caitlin both watch the channel, and well, both of us would like to congratulate you heartily on your marriage today and wish you all the best for the future. And thank you for including us in your celebration. Very, very much appreciated. Now, what else? I've got birthdays. Birthdays a go-go to do today. Let's go through them. Emma, it's your birthday. I know this because your partner Matt wrote to us and said that I think the two of you have been watching since lockdown, and Emma, as a result, has been participating in the UK Puzzle League. That's fantastic, Emma. And Matt also claimed that our soothing voices calm the dog during fireworks. That cannot be true. That cannot be true. But anyway, Emma, I hope you have a great birthday with a large slice of heavily iced chocolate cake, of course. Next, Jenna. Jenna, it's your birthday, and I know this because you're one of the best friends of Alex. And who told us that although you're not a regular watcher, he wanted to wish you the happiest of birthdays and thank you for being such a good friend, even through some of life's most challenging moments. So Jenna, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today. Next, Joseph. Joseph, who is one of our younger viewers, Joseph is in year 10 at school, which I think is that 14, roughly 14 or 15 years old, and apparently came to know of our videos from his maths teacher. So whoever your maths teacher is, Joseph, they are one of my favourite people. Thank you very much. I wish I knew your name, maths teacher, because I would shout you out too. I think spreading the word about these wonderful puzzles is only for the good of the world's sanity, frankly. And Joseph loves the really long solve videos. Today might be one of them. I don't know yet. But Joseph, I hope you have a great birthday today. And thank you for watching. Next, over there in Izmir, Turkey, I'm going to say a very happy birthday to Sammy. And this is from your girlfriend, Eki. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it could be Eki Sue as well, actually. But I think it is Eki. The two of you met in July, and then Eki taught Sammy all about Sudoku and introduced the channel, and now Sammy's addicted. It's a very mild vice, Sammy. If you're going to be addicted to anything, I think Sudoku is probably one of the best things, and I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Next, we'll go over, well, probably to Tunisia, a Tunisian beach, I'm guessing, where Saraj, it's your 30th birthday today. And I know this because your girlfriend Ellie wrote to us. And apparently the two of you solve along with the videos and watch every night. But you are on holiday in Tunisia at the moment, and you are planning to try and watch this video from the beach. Well, I envy you greatly. And Saraj, I hope you have it sounds like you are going to have a great birthday. And then finally, Youssef, you've turned 24 today, and I know this because your friend Kareem wrote to us and told us that you are a very, very good puzzler, a very keen puzzler as well, but you don't watch much YouTube. And this is going to be Kareem's excuse for trying to make you watch these videos. I think Kareem's been with us since COVID, as I think a few people have been. So Kareem, thank you for spreading the word. And Youssef, I hope you have a brilliant, brilliant birthday today. And that is all the news. With that said and done, I will turn my attention to trying to solve and read the rules of Po' Boy by Sniglett and Cornish John. And the rules are as follows. We have got we have got normal Sudoku rules apply. It's explained in slightly longer detail but I think it's normal Sudoku rules. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Coral. Some cells are coral and others are water. The odd digits are all part of the coral. All coral cells are orthogonally connected. The even digits are all part of the water. There may be multiple bodies of water, and all bodies of water are orthogonally connected to the edge of the grid. No 2 by 2 area is entirely coral or entirely water. So let's just talk about that rule for a moment. There was a lot of mentions in that paragraph of orthogonally connected. What does that mean? Well, those cells are orthogonally connected because they share edges with each other. You can trace from any cell to any other cell in that green string via cells that share edges. If we were to try and add that cell in, now the green area is not orthogonally connected because these two cells only touch one another at a point on the diagonal. That is not sufficient for orthogonal connection. Now they are orthogonally connected again. So that is how to interpret that word in the rules if you're unsure. Coral clues. Clues outside the grid indicate the length of continuous runs of coral or water. A star indicates any positive number of continuous sets. In a row or column where clues are given, all clues are shown. For example, down column 1, there must exist some non-zero number of parity sets. There must exist some non-zero number of parity sets, followed by a set of length 1 of one parity type, immediately followed by a set of 3 of the opposite parity, followed by some non-zero number of parity sets. Wow, okay. Why are they called are they called parity? Right, they're called parity. Okay, they're called parity sets because that is, the coral is sort of divided. The coral and the water are odds and even digits, right? So down this column, there is some number of, the star corresponds to some number of parity sets, but some non-zero number of parity sets actually. It did say positive number, yeah. A positive number of parity sets, followed by a 1. No, not the digit 1, but a length 1 parity set. So let's say that this one was an odd digit. Then, in order to be of length 1, it would be framed by even digits. But this would be part of a 3 set there, in order to be this 3. And then that would be followed by an odd digit, so that this is of length 3. And then we don't know how to fill these, and we don't know how to fill that, would be, I think, what we're being told. That's quite a detailed rule. Okay, now there's another rule next, which says sandwich. The values given outside the grid also indicate the sum of the digits between 1 and 9 in the respective row or column, read as an n-digit number, read from left to right or top down. For example, these examples are good. Down row 1, the digits between 1 and 9 must sum to 13. Yes, okay, so not only is this saying a length 1 parity set followed by a length 3 parity set, it's also saying that the traditional sandwich Sudoku for this column is a 13 clue. Now what does that mean? Well, imagine this was a 1 and this was a 9. Now those 3 digits, the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9, gosh, this takes me back actually. This was our first sort of viral video, was a sandwich Sudoku. These 3 cells would sum to 13, so they could be 3, 4, 6. Yes, they could. I was checking, my mind was being resistant for a moment. Firstly, it told me that 3, 4, and 6 added up to 13, and then it said, "Are you sure?" And then my other part of my brain, questioned that first bit and said yes, and that's fine. So that argument was resolved successfully. Now, what else? Little killer. Digits along the marked diagonal sum to the number given. Digits may repeat along this diagonal. So those squares sum to 43. And yeah, indeed we know there must be a repeated digit along that diagonal, because if there wasn't, it would sum to a different number. That's a secret what that number is. If you've been watching the channel for a while, I may have let that slip before. Anyway, they're all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, yeah, okay, so we can get cracking, can't we, here, I think. If I understand this rule correctly, there is a length 5 parity set in this column, in fact at the bottom of the column, because there's no clue sort of beneath the 5. Now there are 5 odd digits in Sudoku, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. There are not 5 even digits, because 2, 4, 6 and 8 are all the even digits. So I think that column, I'm meant to use orange for odd, aren't I, because they begin with the same letter, and then blue for even. I think we can just colour this in. And then look, I've got a 1 clue here, so that's this cell. So then these two cells must both be odd for the 2 clue to work, and then they must end in an even, and then goodness only knows what happens after that. So the star can be anything, but at least we've sort of commenced shading of the water. Oh, hang on, have I done? Now am I going to get confused between what's water and what's coral? Let me go back to the rules, because I thought these are odd, and the odd digits are they coral or water? Because if I'm thinking that this I want the blue to be water because it's blue. Yes, the even digits are all part of the water. That is a relief. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. So the orange is coral and the blue is water. And then which had to get to the edge? Was it the water or the coral? Hang on. Oh, yes, okay, so there can be multiple bodies of water. So the water always gets to the edge. Okay, well, this has already got to the edge. That one hasn't. So that has to get to the edge somehow. And then the coral has to connect as a one orthogonally connected area. So this is going to have to connect to this somehow. Hang on. Okay, let me just deal with something quickly in case it becomes relevant, which is checkerboarding. So a feature of these coral rules, or this idea that the water has to always orthogonally connect to the edge, is incredibly important because it prevents patterns like this arising in the puzzle. How do we know this pattern, this checkerboard pattern within a 2x2, doesn't exist in the puzzle? Well, let's revisit the rules. We know that the coral has to orthogonally connect. So this square and this square have to somehow, we don't know how, but they have to join together. And you can immediately see that whether we go down round here or over the top, we're going to prevent this water or this water from orthogonally connecting to the edge. So let's say we went this way round, to connect a coral up. You can now see this blue cannot get to the edge. It can form a nice lake, but that's not good enough. So no checkerboarding in this puzzle. I mean, we haven't had any opportunities for checkerboarding yet, but that is something we're going to have to bear in mind. Now, therefore, we can do, nearly. If this had been the other way round, we'd have had the 4 evens, but it's actually, we've got 4 odds in this row and only 2 evens. Right, this one is 1 and then 1 and then ends. This one is 2 and then ends. Now well, hang on, it said no 2x2s, didn't it? Right, no 2x2s, so that's blue, and then I can immediately see that that's an opportunity for a checkerboarding. So this can't be orange, or it would be a checkerboard, so we can do that. This would be a 2x2 if that was orange, so that's blue. And yeah, the orange is orthogonally connected, so this orange connects to this somehow. Oh, okay, look at this clue, this 1, 2 clue. I've got 2, I've got 1, but then the 1 has to end, doesn't it? So that's going to be blue. Now this orange has to get out and connect to its friends, so let's get it out. That would be a checkerboard if this square was orange, so that's got to be blue. This would be a 2 by 2 of blue if that was blue, so that's orange. Avoid a checkerboard. Oh, this is lovely. This is going quite well. This has got to be orange. This has got to be blue to avoid a 2 by 2. Good grief. That went really surprisingly well, didn't it? And I've not even done... Oh, look at this clue. I've got 3 of the same at the bottom of the column. So that's a blue. That's blue. So all of that's blue. Right, look at this box. There's the possibility of a 2 by 2 of orange there that must be avoided by there being a blue in one of these 2 cells at least. Now there actually can only be 1 blue in this domino because there's only 4 blue cells to find in box 8, because 2, 4, 6 and 8 are the blue digits. So there is a blue in one of those. That means these 2 are orange, but more than that, look at row 8 now. One of these is blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all of these are orange. Now hang on a second, let's just make sure, have we used the clues as fully as we're able to? I haven't used this clue yet. What's this saying? 3 of one type. But there has to be something at the bottom, doesn't there? So it's not right to say this is the 3. Because then the star would not represent a contiguous sequence at all. So it's possible that this is part of the 3, but if it is, it's that. And then this would be blue, and then this would be orange. I don't know, that might be possible, I'm not sure. I can probably do better just by counting. I can do something here. It's exactly the same as we did here, actually. Those 2 squares must include a blue, mustn't they? Otherwise I'd have a 2 by 2. So these 2 squares are orange. This is one of each, effectively. This is one of each. If that was blue, you'd have to avoid a checkerboard. So then all of these would be orange. That would be orange. It's very forcing. If that's blue, it's very forcing. Does this have to get out? No, it doesn't, does it? Blue has to touch an edge, and that has. This has already touched an edge. That's touched an edge. This has to touch an edge, but it could easily do it just by taking a blue there. So that's absolutely fine. Unfortunately. Oh dear, I'm getting stuck, aren't I? Can both of those be orange? If both of those are orange, no. No. Okay. In this column, if both of these were orange, I'd make a checkerboard. Let me just show you that. If I do that, then this has to be blue, and I've created a checkerboard. So that's definitely wrong. Now, the only thing I'm seeing that happens as a result of that is because one of these is therefore blue, this is orange and this is orange. in the column, because we know that the 4 blues occupy those 5 cells, and there's a checkerboard avoidance issue that we've actually, yeah, there really is. So that's orange, that's blue to avoid a 2 by 2. Can we do anything else with that? We might have to start thinking, oh, look, what about that? Oh, that's just erupted, hasn't it, from getting whatever orange it was that we put into that column. Oh, look. I've got, this column is done. In fact, this column must be done as well. We've got a complete count on them. Hang on. Have I just been going crazy, or did that result from me colouring something in these columns? Let me just go back. Oh yes, it did. Look, okay, so that's fine. I was thinking, have I just been really dense in not getting these before? But I don't think I have. That's got to be blued because we need 4 blues in this column. That's got to be orange by the same token. Avoid a checkerboard here. So that's blue. That's the 4th blue in this column. So that's orange. This orange hasn't got to the edge, so it does need to. Lovely. How could that be orange? The answer is, well, it can't be orange, because if it was orange, let me show you, you then got to avoid a checkerboard here, which would make this orange, and that will mean we haven't got 4 blue cells in box 5. So that's wrong. So that is blue, which means this is orange by a process of counting. That's a checkerboard. This is great. Now this is orange to avoid a 2 by 2. That's orange to avoid a checkerboard. I've now coloured the final 5 columns entirely, and I'm going to claim if that was blue, I'm going to have a checkerboard, because if that's blue, I've got to avoid a checkerboard, and that will be, well, I can't. I've used all 4 blues, so this would have to be orange, and I would have a checkerboard. So that is orange. This is blue. To avoid a 2 by 2 there, and in this column I've got all the blues, so that's orange. Wow. Okay, so now I haven't messed it up, have I? Because the orange is, providing the orange gets the edge, we're fine. We are fine. Okay. I'm sure we can do more here, because it just seems that the more you stare at the coral pattern, the more it gives you. I can see there's only one more blue to put in there. I don't really feel I've used the stars clues very well yet, so let me try and use those. 2, 1. No, this column must be something. There must be something we can do with it. Actually, I don't know. I'm not. This column does not feel amenable to me. What else can we do then? If that was orange, that would be orange as well. We'd have 2 oranges there. We get all sorts of blues to avoid 2 by 2s as a result of that. I mean, there does have to be quite a lot of blue in that, because each one of these dominoes has to avoid a 2 by 2 of orange. I don't know. Have I got a row with 4 blues in it or something like that? I have got one there, or 5 oranges. I've got 4 oranges here. So if that was orange, both of these would be blue. This would be orange. I get double orange here, 2 blues here, a blue here that would have to get to the edge. Probably that would have to come down here at some point. Otherwise I'd have too many blues in this box. I think that's probably okay. If that's... I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm struggling now, aren't I? I'm not doing very well again. That's blue, that's blue. That's probably fine. It's not going to... No, okay. I was suddenly thinking maybe it's parity along the 43 diagonal. Obviously that's an odd number. And that means this diagonal has to have an odd number of odd numbers on it. And at the moment, oh, we do have an odd number of odd numbers. So, okay. Okay, so maybe I've got to use some of the other rules. What were the other rules? Coral clues. Oh yes, sandwich clues. I haven't thought about that at all. Right, so all of these are sandwich clues. Well, okay. Does that make things clear? So this is an 11 clue. This is a 23 clue. Okay, 23. There is a... I mean, I haven't done a sandwich Sudoku for such a long time, but there is, I think, I want to say 22 is the magic number for sandwich clues, isn't it? I think if you get as high as a 22 clue or higher, then the middle cell... Oh, well, hang on. The 1s and 9s can only go in orange cells, so this could never have been a 1 or a 9 anyway. But just to complete the thought there, if you put 1 or 9 in the middle of a sandwich row, the maximum size, so let's say we put 1 and 9 into those two, so we put a 1 or a 9 in the middle of a row, then the furthest away the other 1 or 9 can be is sort of right at the end of the row or right at the beginning of the row, and that only leaves enough space in our sandwich for a filling of 3 cells. And because we can't put 9 into the sandwich filling, 6, 7, 8 would be the maximum, and 6, 7, 8 only add up to 21. So that's why 22 is sometimes considered an important number in sandwich Sudoku, because you can, if the clue is 22 or more, you can immediately rule out the middle cell from being a 1 or a 9. But here we've actually ruled it out anyway by dint of colouring. But we can only put 1s and 9s into orange squares. Yeah, okay, so the 5 clue here, there's 1s and 9s down here somewhere, so we're only putting odd numbers into the sum, into the sandwich filling, so it must be a solitary 5. So this column consists of either 159 or 951 in a sequence within those squares. So this is either 1, 5 or 9 then. Two in the bottom row is an even digit. I know that's totally fatuous, but there's only one way to make a sandwich of 2, and that's to write the number 2. So that could be here, or it could be here. If it's not there, it has to be either there or there, actually. Because I can't put 2 more odd digits there and there in the row. There would be 6 odd digits in the row. So I can't make this the sandwich. So... Yeah, so this odd digit is not 1 or 9. Because if it is, that would be a 2, and yet it has to be odd. So that digit is 3, 5, or 7 within the odds. Oh, it's not 5. We've just said 5 is in the sandwich in column 9. So this square is 1, 5, or 9 as well. because our run of 3 that are made up of the digits 1, 5 and 9 is now confined to only 4 cells, and however we pick those 4 cells, these 2 cells are part of the sum. So well, here's an interesting point. Yeah, okay, here is that cell can't be a 1 or a 9, I think. And I'm getting that from the row, actually. If this was a 1 or a 9, then let's think about how we're going to make we're going to have a sandwich filling that sums to 11. 11 is an odd number, so there have to be an odd number of odd numbers in the filling. Now, so we have to be going this way, because we can't write 11 into this even cell. So the sandwich filling is some number of cells this way. But if we just take those 2 cells into consideration, that's an even number of odd digits. Add that to an even number and we're still on an even total here. So these 3 cells cannot sum to 11. So that this cell would have to again be an odd digit. And then I'm adding up 4 different numbers to 11, not including a 1, because 1 and 9 are in the sandwich crusts. And 2, 3, 4, 5 adds up to, well, in fact, it couldn't even be 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's 3 odd numbers that are not including 1, so it's at least 3, 5, 7, it's way over. So this is not 1 or 9, definitely not. So that is 3, 5, or 7. And now this is a 1 or a 9, and that's going to give us our first digit. This is really clever, this puzzle. It's really, really clever. Why do I think this is a 1 or a 9? Well, I know these 2 cells can't be 1 and 9, because remember in column 9 there's a 5 between the 1 and the 9. So this is a 1 or a 9, which means this square here is a 2, this square here is a 1 or a 9. So this square is 3, 5, or 7. We don't have a sandwich clue for this column. This clue is done. These squares definitely haven't got any 1s and 9s in them. Hang on, how can that not be a 1 or a 9 for the 11 clue now? If this was a 1 or a 9, again, that cannot be the sandwich crusts, because there would be 2 odd numbers in the filling, and the overall sum of the filling would be even. If we go this way, we can put 1 odd number in if this is odd, but then we'd have to have a second odd number for the crust, and there are too many odd numbers in the row, aren't there? We'd need 2 more odd numbers, effectively, 1 for the crust and 1 for the filling, and that would put 6 in the row. That's too many. So this is 1 or 9. The filling... we don't know. I don't think we know. Because now it could be these 2 digits. If this was a 1 or a 9, these 2 squares would add up to 11. So this would be 4, 6, or 8, and that looks incredibly likely, actually, doesn't it? And if this was a 1 or a 9, that would be a 5. This would be a 1 or a 9. And then we'd have an enormous total going across here. Because 23 is, again, it's an odd number. Slightly fatuous, apologies. But then we'd have to have an odd number of odd numbers in the filling. And we would have, wouldn't we? So that could be orange, or even. No, probably because then we need, by the secret, we need 2 outies. What am I talking about there? I'm thinking about the total, so I am going to reveal the secret now. In any row of a Sudoku, we know that correctly completed, that row will have the digits 1 to 9 once each in it. Now the digits 1 to 9, if you add them, they sum to 45, and that is the secret of Sudoku, something I share with only my very favourite people, which means you're one of my very favourite people. But what I'm thinking is, if you've got 23 of sandwich filling, and a 1 and a 9 in the crusts framing that filling, then you've got 33 of digits for the sandwich and the crusts, whereas the whole row sums to 45, which is 12 more of digits, isn't it? So if I was to make this a 1 and 9 and this a 1 and a 9, that 12 would all have to fit into this square, which is not going to work. So if this is 1 or 9, I'm saying for sure this is 1 or 9, and both of these are even. And that would be odd, and both of those would be... That doesn't work, does it? Does that work or not? I don't think that works. That's a very complicated reason. I think it's going to cause checkerboarding. I may look for something easier than that, but I'm just going to show you what I'm thinking so that we can all agree that it's interesting. Sorry. It is interesting to me. In this row, what I'm saying is, how are we going to get to 23? We need an odd number of odd numbers in the sandwich filling. Well, we know that's in the filling, and that's an odd number. We know that that must also be in the filling, because I can't write 23 into this square. So this is again filling. That's 2 odd numbers. Not a great total. We need an odd number of odd numbers. So that's definitely in the filling as well. So the earliest I can put the other one of 1 or 9 is here. We know it can't be here from the secret, so it has to be here. This has to be odd. Both of these are now definitely even. But look what that does here. Maybe I could have done this before. Yeah, I could have done, couldn't I? In a way, this isn't to do with numbers. It's to do with patterns. So what I'm saying is, because I have to avoid 2 by 2s in both of these squares, they both have to be blue. And now all of those have to be odd to make sure we've got 5 odds. And I've got beaucoup de checkerboards in box 4. We don't want beaucoup de checkerboards. So what I'm actually saying is that's always been even. Weirdly. I just hadn't appreciated that. That's, well, the corollary of that is that is not 1 or 9. So that one is 3 or 7. Oh, I see. And the 159 is now placed in this column. So that's 5. This is a 1-9 pair. That's not 5 anymore. So we worked out this was 1 or 9. So surely this has to be odd now, doesn't it? Oh no, that's wrong. That's not true. No. Okay, so what we know in terms of this row is that the sandwich is definitely made up of these 2 cells at least. Now these 2 could absolutely sum to 11. That would be fine. An odd and an even number can sum to 11. And then this digit would be a 1 or a 9. It would be odd. So both of those would be odd. But there's no problem with this being even, is there? If both of these are even and that's odd, providing that's then odd, we're okay. We're okay still. So I'm saying that this can't be odd, because then we'd be adding 4 different numbers to 11 without using a 1. So that is definitely even. I mean, that's such a bad deduction. But does that, okay, is that helping me up here? Well, a bit, maybe. Does that have to be part of this 3 group? If it wasn't, the 3 group would start at the earliest here. 3, 1, the opposite of 1. Oh no, but that could be part of the star. No, that's fine. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know then. Bobbins is the statement we're looking for. Bobbins. Okay, so I can't do that. but I know there's a 1 or a 9 in one of those two squares. But what's that for what that's worth, which is probably very little. So this digit is 3 or 7 again. And if it was 7, this would have to be a 4. Because I couldn't have 2 even digits adding up to 4. Because I've only got 2, 4, 6 and 8 to play with. If this was 3, I could have a 2, 6 pair. Bother. Okay. Oh, well, hang on. I've never looked at this clue. That's a 12 clue in column 7. How's that working? This is not a 1 or a 9. So how could this must be a 1 or a 9? Otherwise, we're having 1s and 9s there. And that would have to be an odd number, which was also equal to 12. That's clearly nonsensical. So that is 1 or 9. Then we need an even number of odd digits. So we've got an even number there. That would have to, both of those, yeah, this has to be a 1 or a 9. That's absolutely forced. We must have 2 odd digits. Once we have 1 odd digit in this sandwich, we must have 2. So these two are definitely even. Sorry, definitely odd and in the sandwich. So these are from 3, 5 and 7. And one of them is a 5 and is in the sandwich. So this digit is either 2 or 4. And it's, whoops, and it's not 2, is it? So this is forced. This has to be, oh, I see, yes, it's a 3-cell sandwich that doesn't involve a 2. So it is 3, 4, 5. And these two have to be a 3, 5 pair, and that has to be a 4. And therefore this is a 7. Oh, that's not the way around we wanted this. Oh, but, look. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight losing its religion. This is a 3 or a 5. Golly, this is a very cool puzzle. It's very cool. Now, can we do any more with all of this? This is a 1 or a 9. We don't know the sandwich total for row 1. We do know the sandwich total for row 3, though. I mean, yeah, this is a 1 or a 9. Because if it wasn't, the furthest apart the odd digit sandwiches could be would be those 2 cells. And we can't cram 21's worth of digits into 2 Sudoku cells. 9 and 8 only adds up to 17. And 9 anyway would be in the sandwich. So this is definitely a 1 or a 9. So these squares are 3, 5, 7. One of them is definitely 7. Ooh, again, 21 is an odd total, isn't it? So how is this not? How are both of these not odd? They are both odd. This feels important to me. Oh, I wonder if I could have done this before, if I'd just even thought about this row. Yeah, this is really important, I think. Okay, let's deal with this. Can this be a 1 or a 9? No, because then I've got 2 odd numbers only in my sandwich filling, and we're adding up to an odd numbered. So, this, well, it has to be this way, because if this was the final 1 or 9 digit, then those squares would add up to 1 plus 9, which is 10, plus 21, which is 31, leaving me by the secret to write 14 into this square. That cannot be right, can it? So we have to do this. That has to be even. This has to be the 1 or the 9. We've still got quite a long sandwich total here. Yes, I see. Think about the outies. We've got 2 outies in this row, which we know sum to 45 minus 31, which is 14, without using 9, so they must be 6 and 8. So these digits are definitely a 2, 4 pair. And then we've got 3, 5 and 7 in the sandwich as well. I feel like this column, this 1, 3 thing must be done. But anyway, look, oh, this is big. Avoid 2x2s, so they're, both of those are blue. Avoid a checkerboard, that's blue. This blue has to get to the edge. I've got 4 blues in row thingy, the technical term for row 2, so those are orange. I've got four blues in column. Have I had that for ages? Oh, I don't know, but I've got 4 blues in column 3, so all of those are orange. I'm sorry if you've been shouting me about that. Blues in those squares to avoid. Oh, this is all done now. That's got to be blue to complete box 7. We've got a little pool, look, a puddle of blue that has to get to the edge here. So we have to be very careful about how we do this, actually. Yeah, this square cannot be blue, because if it was blue, I'd have to avoid a checkerboard here and make both of these blue. But now all of those are orange, and that would be a 2x2 quite clearly. So that's definitely blue to get our puddle out. That's definitely orange to not make a 2x2 of puddle. This has to get to the edge. Oh no, it could get to the edge there, I was going to say. But that would get it to the edge, or it gets to the edge here. Oh, well, hang on, I've got four. Oh, this is okay. This is huge. Look at this row. It's finished. I've got 4 blues in it, so that's definitely orange. Avoid a checkerboard there. That's definitely orange. This blue hasn't got to the edge. It has now. That's 4 blues in box 4, so that's orange. I've got 5 oranges in column 1, so that's blue, and that's orange to complete 5 cells. Look, I've coloured the coral in. Let's just double. Yep, there we go. It's all connected. All the blues are connected to the edge. So now this is sandwich Sudoku, I think, he says, looking at it a bit forlornly, not sure what that means. This column is quite constrained. That's 6 and 8. Oh, we can work out that digit, I think. This is a 5, isn't it? Yeah, mathematics on this row. Where's the other 1 or 9 is what I'm thinking. Well, it's got to be here, because it's an odd digit, and it can't be this close to the other 1 or 9, because we can't cram 23 in here. So now those squares add up to 33, which means these add up to 12. So that's 5. That's just using the secret. This is 5. This is 3, 7. This is 5. So that's 3. Well, Tyrgannus, you were right. This is a very, very fine puzzle. That's a 3, just by dint of odd digits. So 3 in one of those squares. Oh, now look, I've never used this 13 clue. I never understood it. I haven't done the sandwich of it. Well, okay. But is the shading correct? That's what I mean by I've never used it. I've never thought about the shading. So that's the 3, isn't it? So the 3 is odd, followed by 1 even, which is framed. Okay. Yeah, it does seem to work. But where's the other 1 or 9 then? It's either there or there, isn't it? There's a 1 or a 9 there in this row. Oh, that's good. This is 8 by mathematics then. This 11 clue, we could just fill it in. I just didn't see that. So 2 is in one of those squares. So 2 is in one of these squares. The 23 we've used. The 21 we've sort of used. I haven't worked out the 13 because I don't know which side the 1 or the 9 goes. 3 in this. Oh, look, that's done. That's just been done. I don't know how long that's been done for, but getting this 3, I don't even know how I got that 3. How did I get that 3? Is that legitimate? Is that, oh, it's just, no, hang on, how did I get that 3? Oh, that was in this row. Yeah, no, that 3 is absolutely legitimate. So this clue must be framed by 1s and 9s. So this is 5 or 7. These are 1, 3 and 9 in the box. There's a 1, 3, 9 triple in row 1. So that's a 7. That's a 3. That's got to be a 5. This is not 3 anymore by Sudoku. This is not 5 anymore by Sudoku. That 5 is very handy. So that's 5. That's 7. That's 3. That's 3. That's 3. Let's double click the 3s. Yeah, that's 3. Double click them again. They're all placed. How do we do 5s then? Let's do 5s. Can we do? Maybe we can't do them. 7s? Oh bother. No, I'm not sure. We probably can do them somehow. Ah, lovely. Look at my clue down here now. I've got a 3 here. So if this was the 1 or the 9 in the column, this would have to be a 10. And it can't be a 10, although it's even. 10 is not a Sudoku digit, so the 1 or the 9 has to go up there. And now these two squares sum to 13, so that's 7 or 5. Oh. I thought that would do it. That's a 7 by Sudoku. So this is a 5 or a 7 by Sudoku. This is a 1 or a 9 by Sudoku. So in this row, this is a 5 or a 7. In this column, this is a 5 or a 7. This is a 1 or a 9 by Sudoku again. That's just Sudoku on 1s and 9s. This is a 5 or a 7. This is a 5 or a 7. And somehow or other this must all get resolved, but I'm not sure by what. It could be by even digits, actually. Because if I knew what that is, that would resolve all my 5s and 7s. How are 1s and 9s getting? Oh, 1s and 9s are going to be done by the diagonal, aren't they? That's how 1s and 9s are going to be done. Oh, this is really clever. This is a very good puzzle, actually. Okay, so what clues have we not used? There is a question that we should think about. 4 is in one of those squares. These are 8. 8 can be placed in box 2, so that's 6. It would be 6 if I could type it. This is a 2-4 pair, so we know that's 2 and that's 4. And this has become a 6 by dint of just Sudoku on our even digits. So that's an 8 now, that's a 6. Is that somehow, have we done this? Oh, we did the 12 clue, that was 3, 4, 5, didn't we? That's a 4, so that's a 6. That's a 4. This is a 2-8 pair to complete their evens. Yeah, sometimes you get this with puzzles that are so parity based. You sort of, you end up doing different. You do an even digit Sudoku and then you sort of do an odd digit Sudoku at the same time. In this column there's a 6-8 pair, so that's 2 or 4 in the corner. And right, how are we going to finish this off? 6 is there exactly in this box, so that's 6. That digit has to go there within the even framework, doesn't it? Right, what next? No. 6, is it? 6? Yeah, I can place 6. Oh, that's it. There we go. You can place 6 in box 1, and when you do, it's part of the 13 clue. So that becomes 7, which means that's 5, that's 5, that's 7, that's 5, that's 7, that's 5, that's 7. I don't want that to peter out. Has it petered out? Or it can peter out if I've done all the 5s and the 7s. I've certainly done all... Yeah, okay, I don't mind it petering out now. It's done. It's done. That's great. So we can do the 6 and the 8 down here. Okie dokie, does that help us? We can do the 8 in box 1. Now the 4 is locked in the corner, so the 4 and the 2 get finished. That's 4, that's 2, that's 4, that's 4. This is a 2-8 pair. This is 2 or 8. This is 2 or 8 as well, isn't it? Because so that means this digit is known. That's 4, that's 2, that's 8. That's 6, that's 2 in the corner. Did I sing for the 3? I think I did. It feels like it's a long time ago. We've just trotted over the hour. And I reckon this will be a deadly pattern. Unless I've not used a sandwich clue. Let's just think about that for a second. I've used that one. I've used that one. I've used that one. No, okay, so it's all going to be about this diagonal to resolve everything. So 43 is the total. How many? Okay, we've only got 2 gaps. We've got 7 and 3 twice, which is 10, and 3 4s, so that's 32. So I need 11 more from these 2 squares, which I can't. No, I can do it. 9 and 2. Oh, what that's going to do. It's going to disambiguate not only the ones, all the 1s and 9s are going to get disambiguated, and all the 2s and 8s as well. That is a lovely final step. So 9, 1, 2, 8, and that hopefully will go through the grid. Yeah, so all of the even digits get resolved. Now the 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. It's going to work, isn't it? Of course it's going to work. 9, 9, and all the rest remaining. Oh, let's see if I can double click those and just turn them all into 1s. What a brilliant puzzle. That's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Is it right? Yes, it is right. Oh, good grief. It's an old puzzle. 425 days old. Good grief. It's only had 30 solves in all that time. Well, it deserves many, many more. Wonderful stuff. Absolutely brilliant from Sniglett and cornishjohn. Yeah, I thought that was mighty fine. Very original to sort of combine parity with coral, and then the clues doing double duty is really clever, actually. That's a really nice step. That must have taken quite some figuring out. And I really like the diagonal disambiguator as well. Beautiful. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.